Welcome back to my channel. You already know it's your boy Hood Diggity, the Rock Reactor, back with another video. Yes, sir. Before I proceed, let me know where you tapping in from. Let me know what country, what city, what mountain, what hill, what cave, what island, what planet, what universe. Let me know where you at. Represent your hood. Yes, sir. Now, President Zelenskyy met, I think it was yesterday, with is it Starmer? I know I'm probably mispronouncing that. He's the Prime Minister of the UK, and the need for support against the war against Russia. Now, guys, first of all, I wanted to stress this. President Zelenskyy, he's not standing still. You can tell President Zelenskyy, he does this with passion. I love his passion. I love the fact that he is a real patriot. Now, many people may not, some people may not agree with me. I mean, I'm just saying based on what I see. I see he's in the United States now. I think he went to the Netherlands, and now he's in the UK. Excuse me. So he is doing his job as a president. I see. He's not standing still. He's doing his due diligence, and I'm loving that. I'm loving the fact that he wants the best for his country. He wants that war to end. He feels his country's sacrifice and his country's pain. He's feeling it. That's what I'm seeing, sir. He's not standing still. He's not sleeping. He's not standing like this with his hands crossed. He's doing his thing. Let's see what happened between him and the Prime Minister. Now, I see they talked about the need for US support. But let's that's what I see in the description. But let's get right to it, guys. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Any donations to my channel will be greatly appreciated. My PayPal account is on the description. Let's see what they're talking about, guys.
We're now going to attempt a Q&A, a five-way Q&A, where we will each ask, be asked a question, and I'm going to start with Beth, please, from Sky.
Thank you. Prime Minister Beth Rigby from Sky News. This is a question to both Prime Minister Starmer and President Zelenskyy, if I may. You are the coalition of the willing, but you're unable to stop President Putin without US support. How disappointing is it that President Trump won't at the moment provide long-range Tomahawk missiles? And is the President right when he says you'll hopefully be able to get the war over without them? Can you? And PM Starmer, if I may, this domestic question. Overnight you suffered a disastrous election loss in Caerphilly, a seat that's been a Labour-held seat for over a century. Was it a gut punch for you? And if you can't turn this around in the Senate elections next May, will you have to go? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Beth. Let me start with the question of Ukraine, because it is really important that we address the support that we're all able to put in, particularly as we go into the winter. And here we have the coalition of the willing. Today you had the EU yesterday, but we are all working with President Trump, and therefore we're all working as one wider coalition here in relation to the support we need to put in for Ukraine. On missiles, we've put in more missiles from the UK in recent days and weeks, and pushing the case for long range. It is really important that we do have long range, and those discussions are ongoing. And of course the protection of energy, because Putin is attacking the energy in Ukraine, and that needs protection. We've had discussion today about how we can stop those attacks and how we can better protect those energy supplies. On the question of the US, what's happened this week is really significant. I think on the sanctions package and the bearing down on oil and gas, this week has been a very significant week because we went early with the measures that we, the UK, took. President Trump came in.
You know, he said something that made me think, guys. I had to stop the video just to comment on this. It's crazy that President Putin, he wants to attack. Winter's coming, of course, and he wants to attack all the energy sites, the oil refineries in Ukraine. So if it was up to Putin, if he would have his way, all Ukrainians, including children, women, children, all Ukrainians, the whole population of Ukraine would freeze to death this winter. That is crazy. That is something that how you think to yourself, how could a human being think like this? Wow.
With really important measures that have had a real impact.
See, that's not even, and I'm sorry, I had to stop it again, but that's not even, I'm talking about speaking from a human's perspective, because I believe he is human. I mean, wow, that is a lot of hatred that he has for Ukraine. I mean, you have to be very, very evil to just think like that. To think that there is no other way of compromising. There is no other way other than destroying Ukraine and let everybody in Ukraine freeze to death. That's it. And then all the Russians come in and take over Ukraine and erase Ukraine for good. I mean, that's his mentality based on what I see. If he could have his way, this is the scenario that he wants.
And then, of course, the EU followed in with a further package of sanctions this week as well. And I think if I was to pick out one thing this week that was of most significant, it would be the combined impact of those packages. Not only because of the impact they have on the Russian economy and the pressure that they put on, but also because they demonstrate the point that whether it's the coalition of the willing, the EU or the US, we are all coordinating clearly in our efforts to support Ukraine and effectively doing so. The other thing I would point to is the progress made on Russian assets. Yesterday, the EU took a very important step forward, and there was absolute clarity in this afternoon's meeting that we need to see that progress come to fruition within a short timetable, because that would be a really material further support that we can put in for Ukraine. So when we said that the ambition really this week, if you like, is to take Russian oil and gas off the global market, we've taken a significant step forward. I would also add that the measures or the movement in position by India and China in relation to Russian energy and oil in particular are also significant. I think what you'll detect behind that is the sort of coordination and discussions that are going on, have been going on today, are going on between us pretty well all of the time, and having a very significant impact on Russia, because we must put Ukraine in the strongest position. There's going to be a hard winter, of course, particularly when it comes to protecting energy, and it is very important that whilst, of course, we want to get to a ceasefire and a lasting peace, we will, in my view, only get there if we put Ukraine in the strongest possible position, and we must never lose sight of that aspect of it. And I'm really pleased to see the coalition of willing so determined and united on this. Of course, to some extent, the coalition was set up to answer the question, what about security guarantees? But to see this wider coalition now working in a coordinated way, I think it really reinforces why the coalition of the willing is so important. In relation to the by-election, look, I'm deeply disappointed by the results. I'm not going to suggest otherwise. I spoke to the First Minister this morning, and clearly we need to reflect and regroup and double down on the delivery in Wales, and we clearly need to do much more. Vladimir, can I pass over to you on the first issue?
Thank you very much for the question. So, first of all, we're not finding and we are not searching the way how to stop Putin and how to finish this war without the United States. So our plan is to make strong steps together. That is the plan, by the way, of Putin. He wants to divide us, to make us weaker. And that's why I think that we have to do everything together. First, of course, pressure on Putin, but really practically. First sanctions, and you see 19th package and oil pressure from the United States did. And I think this is a very strong step. The second point is long-range pressure between us. From the very beginning, it was about our drones, our long range. Then, God bless, we had such partners like UK and France, and the partners gave us storm shadows and scalps. Then, only after that, United States joined us, and we began to use ATACMS. Not big number, but in any way, it's about together. Yes, and now we count on some more strong instruments, but we will see. Yes, then about air defense. Again, it's about together decisions. We really don't have something which can destroy ballistic. That's why Americans helped us, but also Europeans, because firstly, Europe delivered Patriot systems, but United States, they did it together because United States gave licenses for this. Yes. But I hope that we will in any way we will find a way how to produce our own systems. We have to do it, and I think this is the most important thing that politically it's very important to go together. That what about coalition or willing, and the result at the end will be security guarantees. And again, with the security guarantees, we need to have United States. This is very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vladimir. I'm going to pass over to you.
You know, guys, I was thinking before I actually seen this, I was thinking maybe Ukraine could try to win the war without the United States, without Trump. But I don't think so. I think because Trump is the only one that really can stop Russia. Of course, he would need help also from Europe, but in ways that he's going to break them in the pocket. He's going to hit them with sanctions and sanctions. They asked Trump, do you think that this is going to deter him or do anything or affect him, these sanctions that you just did? He said, because he says that's not gonna do anything. He says, Trump answered, we'll see in 6 months how he feels about that. Now, I think Trump is being very careful. I understand Trump because Trump doesn't want to be responsible for a major catastrophe. Doesn't want to be responsible for escalating the war. The war can escalate. With those tomahawks, the war can escalate from 0 to 100 in a matter of weeks or less. Matter of days, maybe. So I think Trump is being very careful. Trump has some good advisors. And I'm kind of liking the way Trump is handling this, guys. I have to say, Trump is a little bit radical. Trump can go off the edge. Trump can go off the deep end. But at the end of the day, this is what I think, guys. And I want Ukrainians to hear this. The Ukrainian-Russian war is going to be lost. Russia's going to lose, and they're going to lose to Russia. Putin is his worst enemy. Because if Putin was really smart, Putin would have Trump in the palm of his hands by just negotiating with him. But he doesn't. And Trump's patience is going to wear off. And Trump is not going to have a choice. But Putin is his worst enemy. His worst enemy is his ego, his drunkenness for power, his relentlessness, to his hatred from Ukraine. All that is going to bring him down. All that is going to bring him down. Right now, he has most of the world against him. And he has himself against himself because he's the only one that wants to continue with this war. Because I bet that not even his citizens, I bet you at least 90% of his citizens do not want this war. They're probably kidnapped. Their expressions and their voices are probably kidnapped by Trump's oppression. But I know they do not want this war, because this war is probably, especially this winter that's coming. Like I said, all we can do is pray, but at the end of the day, guys, it's very simple. This doesn't fail. God does not like ugly, and Putin is going to defeat himself. Putin is now playing his cards right, and he's going to defeat himself. He's winning now, but he's going to lose tomorrow. Guys, let me know what you guys think. And by the way, I commend President Zelenskyy. President Zelenskyy is a workhorse, I see. He's moving around. He's not staying with his hands crossed. He's moving around, and he's doing his due diligence. He's doing his job for his country. I commend him. I know that he's not perfect. Maybe some Ukrainians have things against him because, hey, I don't like everything about my president either. You know, all presidents have good and bad things. But anyway, based on what I see, I commend him. Guys, you already know, man. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button. Any donations to my channel will be greatly appreciated. My PayPal account is on the description. Thank you very much for watching. Love you, Ukraine. Peace, love, and God bless.